A very good afternoon to all our viewers watching us on television and social media platforms. We are coming to you live and direct this afternoon from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Joel Outskun. Let's start off with a look at our headlines for this afternoon.
Difference between the previous and current government explained by the JVP. Another body recovered from the site of the Aranayaka landslide 15 days after the disaster. Farmers protest in Polonnaruwa requesting for water from the Mahaveli river. Today marks day 4 of the Asian and Oceanian Optimist Championship 2016. UN blacklists Saudi coalition for killing children in Yemen.
First up on local news this afternoon, the second JVP conference titled Debt Tax Burden aimed at the crumbling economy was held in Kekol yesterday.
The event took place last night under the auspices of MP Sunil Handunetti.
You can clearly see the debt crisis. This is where you can notice a stark difference between the previous government and the present administration. The previous government showcased the obtaining of loans as a victory. I remember former President Mahinda Rajapaksa speaking in Kandy said that they were the heroes in obtaining loans and that no one else could obtain loans in the same manner. This government does not make such statements. This government shows the current debt amount and says that it needs to be repaid by the public. They say that we cannot move forward with the current debt burden and therefore imposes taxes on the people. The people need to become stakeholders of the debt burden. For that we need to tighten our belts. Isn't that how Ranil Wickremesinghe says it? He says we need to drink bitter medicine. However, they do not. They consume sweetmeats instead.
Now on the latest development, another body was recovered from the Samasar mountain landslide site in Aranayaka. Army media spokesperson Brigadier Jana Jayavira said that the body was recovered from a stream this morning. The total number of bodies recovered from the Aranayaka landslide site now stands at 28. The search and rescue operation carried out by the Army at the Samasar mountain landslide site in Aranayaka was concluded yesterday. Meanwhile, in more news this afternoon, the farmers of Alahara Polonnaruwa staged a protest yesterday.
The farmers demonstrated during the Alahara Coordinating Committee due to the failure to provide adequate amount of water that is needed for the Yala season. The demonstrators charged that the manager of the Mahaveli Water Management Project has not provided sufficient water needed for cultivation. The protesters demanded that the manager of the project step down immediately. The farmers dispersed following the intervention of the Divisional Secretary and the co-chairman of the Divisional Coordinating Committee.
Meanwhile, the officers of the Central Environmental Authority arrived in Dambulla to inspect the usage of polythene below the stipulated limit of 20 microns in businesses.
Polythene pegged under the limit of 20 microns, which were found in business locations, were thereafter seized by the officers of the Central Environmental Authority. The officers noted that legal action will be taken against these businesses.
Meanwhile, one person died following an accident involving a motorbike in Kurupahandia, Polonnaruwa early this morning. The deceased was identified as a 47-year-old father of 2 and a resident of Polonnaruwa. The victim served as a police sergeant attached to the Polonnaruwa police. One other who sustained severe injuries has been admitted to the Polonnaruwa General Hospital. In more tragic news this afternoon, one person died following a motor accident involving a lorry and a motorcycle in Kandy. Now, the driver of the motorcycle passed away while another individual sustained severe injuries. The deceased was a 25-year-old resident of Kandy. The driver of the lorry has been arrested. However, the cause of the collision is yet to be ascertained. Leader of the Janasatha Peramuna, Venerable Battaramulle Silarathanathera, arrived in the island following a pilgrimage to Singapore.
In truth, the Ministry of Disaster Management has not done any good for those who were affected by the floods in Sri Lanka. What is Sri Lanka's so-called government of good governance doing? Where is the relief for the victims of the floods? People are saying that they have a number of questions like whether the relief which is provided is being distributed between the politicos. Therefore, I would like to ask the President and the Prime Minister to heed special attention to this matter.
A youth died after being electrocuted in the Valley Haranava area in Balanguna. Police said that the victim was an employee of a private water pipeline company. The accident occurred as the youth attempted to obtain an electricity supply from a generator while laying a water pipeline. The victim is a 21-year-old resident of Ampara. And first up on sports this afternoon, Singapore currently leads in the points table of the Asian and Oceanian Optimist Championship 2016, which is taking place off the Upper Valley coast in Trincomalee. Now, 112 competitors from 13 different countries are taking part in the championship. Sports First is the media sponsor for the event.
After a day of resting, the competitors of the IODA Asian and Oceanian Optimist Championship are all ready to set sail out into the ocean and compete head-on for the top spot. Now, Singapore are at the top of the list, followed closely by the United States and Australia. Now, the Sri Lankan team haven't quite put on their best performance in the past couple of days, but with 2 days remaining for sailing, anything is possible. Now, stay tuned to News First as we bring you the latest off the coast of Upper Valley here in Trincomalee. Signing off for the News First team, I'm Charlene Benedict.